what do you think of this trade overall? Do you think it benefits LA in the long run? Do you think it benefits Detroit in the long run? How do you see this?
I think that LA robbed them blind. I think that getting rid of Jared Goff, no disrespect, outside of a Super Bowl year, I really have never been a fan. I know that Sean McVay offense made him look a lot better. I know the second he got that contract, everybody kind of, well, not everybody, but most people kind of looked a little confused. Like, really, like Jared Goff, $136 million. I don't really think he's worth it. Matthew Stafford immediately puts the Los Angeles Rams in win now mode and puts them in Super Bowl contention. The defense obviously showed out last year that they could play, but their losses were inconsistencies at the quarterback position. Jared Goff was already going to be not demoted, but there were multiple reports showing that this upcoming offseason there was going to be a QB battle between Goff and Wofford, and that immediately shows that the Rams organization had lost faith in Goff, and I think that Jared had plenty of opportunities. He had a multitude of chances to really prove that he could be the guy of the future, and it just so happens that it is what it is, and they went and upgraded at the quarterback position. I think that the Rams unfortunately haven't had a first round pick since Goff in 2016, and they won't have another one until 2024. But I mean, that offense is talented. A lot of those players are under contract for the near future. Aaron Donald is still one of the best players in the world. Jalen Ramsey as well. This this catapults them with this massive upgrade. If I had to put a hypothetical grade on it, I say that the quarterback play was maybe a C plus, puts them at a B plus. I don't know if you agree, but Matt Stafford's grittiness, being able to play through multiple injuries. Hopefully, that offensive line will be able to keep him upright. And Sean McVay's offense will definitely suit him a lot better than any other offense he's ever had. But I think the Rams immediately win that trade, hands down.
I think so as well. Just looking at the trade, just kind of like from a big picture here, I think it finally gives Matthew Stafford his first real chance to actually succeed in the NFL, really since Calvin Johnson left Detroit. So I see like this. I see Matt Stafford having finally some decent options to throw to, like Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. Then you got Cam Akers out of the backfield, and you also have
Everett,
Tyler,
Higbee.
and you got Higbee. So I was just going to mention him. So he's actually got a pretty good, solid core of guys here that are reliable targets, and I really do think that Matt Stafford Cooper Kupp duo, or even Robert Woods to a certain extent, I think it's going to pay huge dividends for the Rams in the long term. So I think if you're the Rams here, I think it's a great move for them. Obviously, Jared Goff had not been playing up to the standards that they wish when they gave him that contract. And listen, with Jared Goff to me is like a moment's quarterback. There are some moments where he can step up and show you flashes of what he could be, flashes of his potential. And then he'll follow it up with just really inconsistent play or just outright bad games where he's throwing 2 or 3 really bad interceptions a game. So if you're the Rams here, I think you had to make this trade. I mean, look, you're competing against the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals in your own division. And Jared Goff, I don't think long term was going to work out for them. So I think this trade really suits them well for the long term. And here's another thing that I think people maybe not taking into account here. Matt Stafford is only 32 years old. Russell Wilson is the same age, but people think that Matt Stafford has been in the league a lot longer than he has been. And people may think that he's a lot older than what he actually is. He's only 32. He turns 33 in February. He turns 33 in about 6 or 7 days from now. And he has probably one of the best teams that he's had around him in probably 5 to 6 years. So I think the Rams are going to be just fine in this situation. As far as Jared Goff in Detroit goes, I think Jared Goff is going to have a slow, agonizing decline with Detroit. I don't see his career really going anywhere in Detroit. It's unfortunate just because Jared Goff this year at the end, obviously he got hurt. I believe he hurt his thumb or his finger or something.
Yeah, something in his throwing hand.
Yeah. So, and even though that he went out there, look, he tried his best to go up against Seattle after Wofford got hurt in the first quarter. Just he wasn't able to he just really wasn't able to make enough plays to make it count. Even though they ended up winning that game, when they played against Green Bay, kind of a similar situation. Just wasn't consistent enough. Like I said, they got him enough. It was enough for him to get the win against Seattle, but largely the Rams won because of the defense. The defense was able to get a good pass rush on Russell Wilson and get him off his spots and really neutralize that offense. But I just don't think Jared Goff in the long term is going to be the solution that Detroit is going to need. Detroit's going up against Green Bay in the NFC North, and we'll see what happens with Chicago. Maybe they make an upgrade. Now, Chicago didn't end up making the playoffs this year by some miracle. I don't know how. They weren't even that good this year. But, if you're Detroit right now, I just don't really see this team going anywhere. I wish I could give Detroit fans a little bit more hope and some positivity here, but I just don't think Jared Goff is the guy that's really going to take Detroit to the promised land. It's just kind of how I see it.
Oh, I couldn't honestly agree more. We typically always have a lot of similar views. Just, final point on this one, just because we have so much other things to cover. If Jared Goff could find a way to stay healthy this year with the coming picks in the future, who's to say if they have bad enough records that they can't bring some talent in the draft? I mean, they do have 2 first-round picks coming in from LA. They have their own first-round picks. I would assume that they're going to remain somewhere within the lottery because of that team being kind of lack of talent, so to speak, to put it gently, that they are. I don't see Detroit, like you said, winning a lot of games. So, I mean, Kenny Golladay is a free agent. I don't know if they're going to re-sign him. I think that would be foolish because of all the injuries he's had plaguing his career. I think that they need to dump all of their money onto the defensive end of the ball and as well as the offensive line. If you're going to keep a quarterback that has this much salary cap hit, you got to keep him healthy. You don't want someone eating up 25, 30 plus $million a year to sit on the sideline. So I say that this year's draft has to focus on protecting him. I think next year's draft focuses on getting Jeff Okudah some backup. And I think that they need to spend their free agency money wisely because at the end of the day, Jared Goff is young. Jared Goff is still a semi-decent quarterback and can be average at best when he has time to throw. So Detroit isn't necessarily over. I wouldn't say that they're through because they did get a little younger. They did take a bigger hit, but they got younger and they got capital behind it. So if they can play their picks right, if they can play their free agency right, I think that they become at least a semi-average football team. Again, they really they gotta hit their stride, or should I say, they gotta make their picks count. I know that the defensive coordinator for the Saints, if I'm correct, he's their new head coach.
I believe so.
So that man's got to come in here and he's immediately got to either clean house and start letting people go, or he's really got to come in there and just come in there and pick that defense up and absolutely get Jared Goff some protection.